Everybody loves the American campfire. Don't you hear it calling your name? Everybody loves the American campfire.
All right, I've been just given the green light, the go-ahead, as if I need anybody to give me a green light or a go-ahead. My name is Ted Nugent. God created me in his image and likeness, and he gave me two middle fingers, and they never go to sleep. They're on 24/7, 365, 76.9. That's 76.9 years. About to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the only experiment in self-government in the history of the world. That's why I am Charlie Kirk. You should be Charlie Kirk. It's as simple as fixing the idiots. Now, Charlie was more genteel than I am because I don't believe in Mitt Romney. I don't adjust my tie. In fact, I don't own a tie. I had to borrow my brother Jeff's tie for my first communion and my confirmation. What they confirmed, I have no idea. But here I am wearing the armor of God. It is September 2025, and I am your venison backstrap Spirit of the Wild Daddy, Spirit of the Wild TV on the Pursuit Channel 8 times a week, and I'm a riot. If you're not having fun with me, you're weird. Shemaine Nugent's Queen of the Forest, just like her faith and freedom on Real America's Voice, is truth, logic, and common sense. And talking about truth, logic, and common sense, Hook and Barrel Magazine, John Ranzuela came up with a great piece that I wrote. It's called The Sober City Madman. And if you're not clean and sober, you can't possibly have as much fun as I'm having because I'm high on hands-on conservation participation, morally sound, scientifically supported, which is why I have Zach Haas, a scientifically supporting biologist. And Zach, welcome to the Spirit Campfire. Do you feel the effervescent masculinity spirit of the Ted Nugent unique campfire? Do you celebrate it, Zach?
Absolutely. I feel it loud and clear.
You know, Zach, how old are you?
I'm 37.
37, just a child. When I was 37, I owned the air on planet Earth. I was like Bruce Lee with at the time, a Smith & Wesson 6.5-inch blue model 29 shooting Remington 240 grain soft point. Anyhow, my point being is that I've spent an entire lifetime with wildlife. I didn't read it in books. I didn't go to college because I knew that there might be some brainwashing in the horizon. So here's the fact I'm going to give you. God bless your dedication to the biology of God's miracle. That's what it is. It's science. It's biology. It's tangible. It's describable. It's functional. But my name is Ted Nugent. I wrote Wango Tango, and I meant it. Even with those credentials, how's this for a horror story, Zach Haas? I, the guitar player, know more about wildlife than anybody in any game agency in the United States of America, because they get it from a computer screen and a propaganda ministry. I get it from a swamp and a marsh and a fen and real wildlife habitat. What happened to wildlife game departments in America, Zach?
They've overlooked it, right? It's all about the money chasing nowadays rather than the science. And unfortunately, I went to school with a lot of the people that are in the agencies now, and they lost their way too. And that's why I always worked on the private side of the spectrum and focused on my conservation and what my dad taught me to focus on habitat, focus on the wildlife, and leave everything better, than the way we found it.
And that's the mantra of I share campfires every weekend, July, August, September, October, into Thanksgiving. And I've done it with our sunrise safaris for the last 40 plus years. And I get what you just said, Zach, genuine love affair, a moral obligation to understand our cause and effect on wildlife ground, because I'm the only guy, and again, I'm the author of Wango Tango, but I'm the only guy who has expressed to the non-hunting public who have been brainwashed to hate murderers of innocent animals when I tell them, if you have clean air, soil, and water, you have to thank a hunter, a fisherman and a trapper, because our goal isn't to kill stuff. Our goal is to optimize the carrying capacity and health, the biodiversity of wildlife habitat, which is the only source of clean air, soil, and water. Is that not it in a nutshell? From a guitar player to a biologist?
Without a doubt, 100%. I mean, I was raised on you, Ted, and my dad was a big conservationist, and I got taught that early on. Is all about, treating the land right, respecting the animals that we harvest, and honestly, that's what I'm passing on to my nephews, my son, and that's why I taught hunter safety, and it's why I continued as a land manager now to help property owners get the best of what they can on their land.
So you're up in Minnesota, land of Tim Walsh. That's got to be painful. I'm in Michigan land.
Luckily, I'm in Wisconsin, but it's no better because we're in the land of beavers, which isn't any better.
So not just Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, Illinois, Kansas, Ohio, Indiana. It's all a cluster crank. It's just unbelievable how dishonest the game departments are. In our 5 minutes that we have left here, number one, thanks for coming on. Thanks for being brave enough to stand up in the spotlight to genuinely and heartfeltly, scientifically support the criticism of game departments. What would you say is the top 2 or 3 failures of game departments, not just Wisconsin? I've seen it with the CWD scam. In Michigan, CWD scam. You have more sandhill cranes than you know what to do with. You're allowed to kill them, but not eat them. So it's against the law to respect and eat a ribeye in the sky. So I could go on. But from your point of view as a trained and a credentialed hands-on biologist, not just credentialed from a propaganda ministry, but a functional outdoorsman, what would you say should be spotlighted with game departments against nature?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing is they're so focused on figuring out what the problem is, but never the solution. And that's why the EHD, for instance, that's why I focused on EHD and figuring out the true in-field solutions rather than getting stuck in a laboratory. And I've seen that when I was dealing with pond and lake management. Our agency was always so focused on you might have a solution, but first we got to test it for 10 years. Well, by that time, it's already too big of a problem and we're behind the 8 ball. And that's the same thing we're seeing with everything that's related to conservation and habitat is, why are we not going in the field and putting money and dollars into people's hands to actually fix problems rather than just talking about it and really not doing anything about it?
I've been promoting this product because there are some mad scientists out there in the hunting world. That's where you have the best optics, the best arrows, the best broadheads, the best ammo, the best rifles, the best clothing, the best boots, the best scent control, the best supplemental feed, the best food plots. It's the best it's ever been. I'm 77 this year, and these are the good old days if you use your head and circumvent the corruption in the game departments. But a deer necessity .com have created this treatment for wetlands and surrounding areas to mitigate the midge explosion that has created EHD. Do you think that that's a good system? And it came from the private sector, not the bureaucrats.
Yeah, 100%. Like I've been working and using these products and testing them for over a decade. I was a biologist for 20 years, and I've been able to, in a way, protect my herds and my client herds and people I meet by using the sound science and field experience I had by using EHD fence, putting it into process and restoring ecosystems rather than just watching them, sitting on the wayside, sit on your butt and watching them fail. I want to make sure that I can do what I can with like a product like EHD fence and give my deer everything they need to survive and flourish. There's so many atrocities.
Well, there's an emergency overpopulation of deer, so you can shoot some does on Saturday and Sunday, but the emergency is over for a week. The emergency starts next week. Why 2 days? If there's an emergency overpopulation, let us kill them and sell it and process them for soup kitchens and homeless shelters. Why does the guitar player know the answer, but the bureaucrats fight me? What is going on with that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, well, it's because obviously it's all political based, right? I mean, people like us, we just want to go and handle it and make sure. And like for me, like I have a bunch of nephews, I have a son, and I want to protect everything I enjoyed, through my hunting career and my, everyone that I known and everything like that. I want to make sure they have just as much fun and able to harvest, provide for their families just like I did.
Well, God bless you for standing up, but people are tuning into the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire and our Spirit of the Wild TV show on the Pursuit channel because I inject this stuff. It's not just all the sweet pie stuff and all the cautious stuff and all the genteel stuff. We know that God created this system by which we have reproductivity with a natural season of harvest before the death of winter, where the habitat will not support the animals through the winter. So we harvest the surplus so the habitat will support it. Why hasn't this sentence ever been said in a school in America? Why does the guitar player have to say this stuff, but no biologist from a game department? And that's it in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah. Without a doubt. I mean, it's even like all these classes and stuff. Like I was a hunter safety instructor for 13 years, and like I did a trapper course last year because I wanted to finally get my certification. My dad was a trapper forever. You get taught so much more stuff there, but yeah, like all my schooling, they never looked at the conservation side of it. It was just like the political studies side of it. Here's the rules and regulations. But once again, never focusing on in-field solutions. That was never really a discussion. It was like, well, here's your fancy laboratory testing tools, but that's where we're going to leave you. So good luck. They slap on your butt and away you go.
Well, Zach, thank you for that. We're going to do this again because you have a lot of wisdom and a lot of experience, but here it is in a nutshell. There's so many nutshells out there, I'm crushing them underfoot. So the people in Detroit voted that the #1 game bird in the world is a songbird. So we can't hunt doves, though we produce more doves than all the quail, woodcock, grouse, and pheasants combined. But they call it a songbird. So you know what I'm doing, Zach? I'm hunting doves because it's not a songbird. Zach Haas, have the greatest hunting season of your life. Thanks for joining me on the Spirit Campfire. And everybody out there, I love you people. And remember, we are all Charlie Kirk because we stand up for truth, logic, and common sense.
With some dude in a Prius went and flipped me off. Guess my redneck hit 'em wrong. Seems like everyone these days is a ticking time bomb full of hate for folks